Welcome to Tilly's Trans Tuesdays. We all hope for a whole host of changes to come with transition, but some of them are entirely surprising for a variety of reasons. So this week, we dive into unexpected changes from transition. Hi, I'm Tilly Bridges, your host, and I'm joined by my writing partner, my best friend, my wife, our token cis representation, the lovely lady who ended up with an unexpected wife, Susan Bridges.
Hello.
You had no clue that was coming.
In retrospect, it makes sense.
Yeah, it sure does.
It always does. It always works that way.
Yeah. Our guest this week is Kristine Chester, a tall, geeky trans lady living in Pennsylvania with her wife, Nicole. When not consumed by the day job, she likes to play tabletop RPGs, disc golf, and dreams about traveling across the U.S. For 5 years, she was a player and an editor for Heroes of the Hidean Way, a Star Wars actual play podcast, still going on today at thehideanway.com. These days, she can be found playing the part of Erin on The Kingery, an audio drama at pendantaudio.com. Welcome, Kristine.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Tilly and Susan, for having me today.
I'm so glad we could get you on. We've been trying for a while. The schedules didn't line up, but it finally happened, and I'm really stoked. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, so as a fellow huge ttrpg nerd, I wanted to ask you about how early you got into it and what the appeal of it was for you.
Oh, gosh. I've been playing tabletop games since I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine was really into them and just moved to Virginia at the time and roped me and another friend into it. And we had a chance to play our first Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah.
And then for me, I've been playing ever since. In fact, literally just a couple days ago, I ran a D&D 5e game for 2 days straight.
Wow.
So we kind of had a big finale. And for me, the appeal is I love storytelling. I've always loved stories, reading, watching movies, reading comics, that kind of thing. And this is a chance to tell a story collaboratively with your friends. And I love how bringing everybody together, it's almost like a writer's room in that way.
Yeah.
Then you throw in the dice for that random element too. And it just it tells beautiful stories. The other part is D&D or tabletop RPGs are often referred to as therapy. And they definitely are. Like, I definitely played my first female character in a game well before I came out. Or rather, I came out about a year or two later.
Yeah, when I got into it, in my teens as well. And I was always the one that was happy to be like, well, like so much media, there's a variety of male characters and then the girl, right? Mm-hmm. And the girl doesn't have a special personality. They're just the girl. And that's terrible and it's awful. But it benefited me because when we would be putting together our RPG parties, we would be like, well, we have to have a girl in the party in case we need one. Who's going to play the girl? And some reason I always volunteered to play the girl. I don't know why, but
it's a mystery to this day.
It sure is. But I think I've talked to a lot of trans people, especially that first explored their feelings around gender through RPGs. And I know several of them have even named themselves after characters that they played where they first figured that all out because, you get so attached to them and it means so much to you. And
so look, RPGs are evil. Part of the agenda.
That's right.
Yeah, for me, once I started playing women in RPGs, it became such a thing I was known for before I came out. I remember the last campaigns, maybe a few months before I came out, I was going to play a male character and then nobody could get the character's pronouns right, which is really funny looking backwards on it.
Yeah, I have the same issue with video games. For the longest time, if you could make your own character, I was always playing ladies. And, well, I justified it because it was like, well, there's so few games starring women. I have to at least play women when you can, because it's not fair they don't get to be the leads in video games very often. There was always a reason why, but that wasn't the real reason.
I think before Tilly transitioned,
Yeah.
that was the only place you really felt comfortable, I think, is playing RPGs and teaching other people RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because you were not social at all.
Well, right, because I didn't want to be seen or perceived or have to put on the false.
But this was one thing that you were cool with.
Yeah.
First off, Susan, I very much relate to that too. I think that's perfectly normal, because it's a chance to then be yourself in that environment, or if not yourself, somebody else. And that's easier in those moments. Yeah. So I know I spent a lot of time sort of being a daydreamer and not present so much before I transitioned.
Yep, same. Do you feel, though, that, like, looking back at it now, do you feel that you were maybe subconsciously trying to explore your own gender feelings when you were playing women in games and things like that? Like, do you think it was you were reaching for that something that you couldn't define?
Oh, absolutely. 1,000%. Yes. I mean, it's also no mistake that back when I played Fable, the first woman I played in an RPG, she was a shapeshifter as well.
Oh, sure.
And it was for a RPG called Fireborn that also deals with the characters changing as you discover your draconic nature and this other life you lived and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
There's tons of things that could be unwrapped there in terms of my exploration.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's that's a very trans premise even. So, yeah. So to the folks listening, I mean, if you haven't had the opportunity to try out role-playing games, you absolutely should. It's like getting together, like Kristine said, with a bunch of your friends, and you're just telling a story together. And it's just, it allows you so much freedom and so much exploration for yourself, and even just, fantasy and sci-fi, and getting to explore really cool stories. And I don't know, we have a good time.
Well, and a lot of the people in our games are professional writers.
Yeah.
They make it extra difficult for you so often.
You do. It's true. I've been running 2 different Star Trek Adventures games in a shared universe for over 5 years each. And one of the games is all professional TV writers, and the other game is like 75% professional TV writers. And it is a wild experience. Yeah, you're always throwing me for loops. So... But that's how games go, right?
Amazing.
Yeah,
I would love just to be a fly on the wall for one of those sessions. It's really something.
Yeah, it's wild. But okay, we should move on because we have a lot more to talk about. So,
but I love those games where you're like, I never thought you would do this.
Well, that's the best part, right? Is trying to
so much.
As a GM, as a game master, you can only prepare for so much, and you're always like, well, what are they going to do? I expect they'll do this, but maybe they'll do one of these 2 or 3 other things. So you have a little bit prepped for it, and no, every time it's something I never would have thought of, and I love that about it. So, okay, Kristine, let's get back to you. For you, what has been the best thing about transitioning?
Oh gosh, way to put me on the spot there. What's the best thing? I would really say. So I had, and still have to some extent, pretty bad gender dysphoria. And for me, I went from being completely uncomfortable in my own skin. I gave I had no care in my appearance.
Yeah, same.
Didn't take care of myself. And when I transitioned and I got to start heading towards me, it allowed me the opportunity, like I talked about earlier, to be present in the day-to-day, to actually start caring about my body and to start feeling comfortable in it, where I could actually start getting by in my day-to-day and feeling comfortable, trying on these different clothes. Or like for me, I know we're going to talk about this some today, getting to grow my hair long was hugely affirming. It's something I wanted to do my whole life and finally was able to do.
Yeah.
And I actually just got to start, I guess, living might be a good way to...
It is.
Way to phrase it, even if it's a bit of a cliche also.
But it's true. It is, because it was like, that wasn't life beforehand, and I was just surprised, I think, like you were talking about, feeling like kind of at home in your body and caring about it and wanting to take care of yourself when I like never knew why people did that before. I'm like, who cares? Why would you even, I don't care about this meat sack, And so, yeah, it's a really remarkable thing when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on the other side of that topic, then what has been the worst or most difficult part of transitioning for you?
I would say, I'd have to say body hair.
Yeah.
So been like the worst part right now. I'm in the midst of picking back up electrolysis, which
Okay.
I had done a few years of it back in my 20s and then had to stop just due to financial
Sure.
concerns at the
Yeah,
time. It's very expensive.
it is. And it
And
takes so long and you need so many sessions.
mhm.
Yeah.
And it still is unfortunate, like having to shave every day. It still takes a
Yeah.
lot out of me to go through that process, and I get worried about it. And am I covering up well enough? And then same thing goes when it comes to like the body hair, trying to keep legs
Yeah.
shaved, all the little places that hair grows.
There's a
And if I
lot.
could snap my fingers and not have to deal with that anymore, that would be great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I haven't been able to do, is any kind of laser or electrolysis on my face or my arms or my chest or anything. So I have
Yeah.
all of this same like body hair maintenance all the time and I really hate it. So I feel that very deeply.
Mm-hmm.
After listening, where can people find you online if they would like to learn more about Kristine, other than, of course, the website for The Hidean Way, which was thehideanway.com. Yes. Check that out. But elsewhere, are you anywhere else they can find you?
I'm actually not too many places online these days, besides at the Hidean Way, where I'm not a current member of the show, but there's a backlog of about 5 years where I was a player and an editor. You can also find me at 12th Night. That's 12th Night with a K on Twitter. So I'm still going to call it. I am not very active these days, but I do still check in. So if anybody needs to get a hold of me, that's still a pretty good place to do so.
Okay, great. First, let me say that if you are listening to this when it's released, Trans Tuesdays will be off for a couple of weeks after this as I prep for, attend, and then recover from San Diego Comic-Con, which is a monster wrapped in a demon, wrapped in a party, wrapped in a pop culture comic convention. This week's topic is actually one that I wanted to write about after 2023's San Diego Comic-Con, but I didn't get around to it until now. I needed to process it a bit, but also I had to write up the 9-part trans allegory of Silo, and then the year was almost over, and then I had to write up the 8-part trans allegory of Barbie, and well, here we are. So, before every trans or non-binary person starts transition of any kind, medical or social or even mental and emotional, there are a whole lot of changes we hope to get out of it. Experiencing more gender euphoria is often one of them, and if you're unfamiliar, you can read about that at tilliestrans-tuesdays.com. And for those of us with gender dysphoria, the lessening or disappearance of it is also a big change we're hoping for. Listen to episode 59 for more info on that if you need it. I personally was hoping that dressing in the clothes I'd wanted to wear for my entire life would make me happy, that growing my hair out would help me find myself, that my journey through gender-affirming speech therapy would help me find a voice that sounded like me to my own ears. If you want to read more about my journey with clothing, you can see Finding Our Trans Style in episode 33 of this show. And for more on just what my hair has meant to me, you can see its essay and its follow-up Hair 2 when I had my first real visit to a hairstylist, also at tilliestrans-tuesdays.com. I was hoping for even more than those things, though. I was hoping for the body developments that hormone replacement therapy might bring. Breast growth, hip and butt development, the slowing of body hair growth, facial and body shape changes, etc., etc. For more on my struggles with body hair, guess where you can find an essay on it? tilliestrans-tuesdays.com. I've written a lot of these.
Do that.
I've actually gotten so many of the changes I wanted from HRT, which is kind of amazing. You can read about it in my annual HRT retrospectives. My 4-year check-in was just a couple weeks ago in episode 75. And for trans people who need gender confirmation surgeries, the outcome of those is also something we're hoping will help us see ourselves and feel like our true selves for the first time. So, Kristine, I wanted to ask you how things have gone for you in terms of your transition. Have you gotten, you talked a little bit about, the body hair issues still, but have you gotten most of what you hoped for out of it, or were there things that you've wanted but haven't gotten?
For me, I've been on HRT now for, hold on, let me do the math here. Oh gosh, we're hold on. We're right around the 15-year mark.
Wow.
However, I had some setbacks along the way.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah, and I don't think that's discussed enough.
Sure.
I think in the community, I think there's a lot of people who talk about when they first, start taking estrogen or spironolactone, and you're good to go. Well, my first few years, I was taking the pill version of estradiol,
Yeah, me
and
too.
not much was happening.
Yeah.
And it was very demoralizing. Like I initially rode that gender euphoria of I'm going to wear, cute outfits and I've got my hair long and I'm presenting myself. And then, okay, where's the breast growth? Why isn't the body hair lessening? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And I had a very good doctor who recommended changing the way in which I was taking my estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been on the patches now for about a decade.
Oh, wow.
And that worked out a lot better for me because there's something about my body where medication is just not as effective as it should be. And it's universal. Like I was just at the dentist a while ago and it took like 5 shots to get me numb.
Wow.
Something about me. But the patches help boost up my estrogen levels. And I was on a massive dose of spironolactone.
Yeah.
To try to balance things out. And I still wasn't quite getting the results I wanted. But I actually just last fall finally had an orchiectomy. So I'm off spironolactone now.
Yeah.
And finally, for the first time in my life, my estrogen levels are higher than my testosterone levels.
Wow. That's great, though. I'm sad it took you so long to get there, but I'm glad you're there now.
Me too. And so I'm kind of like going through a whole other like process again. It's gradual at this point, but I'm glad to like finally get to move forward with it. So I had those setbacks along the way in terms of like the medical transition front. And as I talked about earlier, the body hair is like a big thing right now.
Sure.
Like facial hair. And then I've got some hair on my back that's always driven me insane.
Oh, it's so hard. You can't reach it. Yeah.
Exactly. So electrolysis is the thing I've been pursuing now. And that's going to be, I think, hugely beneficial to me. And it's another one of those things I wish I hadn't put off for so long.
Sure.
But it is expensive.
It is, yeah. And a lot of insurance doesn't cover it, sadly.
Yes. Yeah, not insured in this case either. So paying out of pocket.
Oof, yeah. That's rough.
But it's been worth it for me. Because even just with another 7 months, I'm hitting the point now if, for example, I couldn't shave for some reason, which usually happens because I work a swing shift.
Yeah.
So I have to pick my timing on when I'm shaving sometimes. I can still like go out in public. I'm not 100% comfortable, but I don't get called out on that. Like it's not as visible anymore, the facial hair, which has been nice.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for folks listening, I did a whole episode of this show about my own transition setbacks. That was last summer. So you can check that out if you want. I also had trouble with the pills. They worked okay for me for a couple of years, but then they just stopped working entirely. And I got nothing from them. So I had to switch to injections last year. And those have worked really good for me since. But
excellent.
Yeah. Well, to my surprise, there have been a whole lot of changes from transition that I never could have anticipated. You can hear about some of the smaller of those and the little ways they filled my life with joy just last week in episode 76 on unexpected bonuses of transition. But to be fair, there were also some changes that I might have anticipated if I'd been able to stop and think about it for a while. But I was dealing with pretty severe dysphoria, and it made pondering the surprising nuances of transition difficult or even impossible. One of the things I couldn't have anticipated, as I'd not seen or heard trans people talking about it before I started HRT, though I've seen a lot of it since, are the mental changes that came with HRT.
Yep, it sneaks up on you.
It does. I have this totally remarkable peace of mind now, and it's not just from my body finally feeling like me, although that's part of it. And it's not just from my voice finally sounding like me, although that's part of it. And it's not just from my dysphoria being basically all but gone, although that's part of it. It's so hard to describe, but the way you can maybe see it best illustrated, as I just mentioned a little earlier, episode 28 on transition setbacks. When my HRT stopped working and I was horrified to discover the mental backsliding it caused and how it felt like my very identity was being stripped away. My whole life pre-transition, my brain was a cloud of dysphoria and pain and misery and isolation and noise, like I was stuck in a feedback loop or something. And actually, when you consider how much your society tells you you're cis and reinforces that you have to be, feedback loop is actually pretty apt. But just being on the right hormones for me has stopped so much of that. It's like it lifted this veil that not only kept me from experiencing the world, it kept me from experiencing myself. You can see the external part of that reflected in the Trans Tuesday on Confidence 2, Into the Unknown, aka A Whole New World, aka What is Happening, at that website that I can't stop mentioning. I had no idea that just being could feel the way it does now, that I could know and love myself and who I am the way that I do, that this was the real me buried underneath all the dysphoria shit for my entire life. It never occurred to me that that would change or even could change. So, Kristine, you mentioned that, the mental changes and how they snuck up on you. Did you ever anticipate anything like that could have happened?
No, I never did. And it was so uplifting once I was able to transition and start living, at least to start part of my life as Kristine.
Yeah.
Just huge boosts of confidence and that peace of mind and wanting to go out and do things and be a part of the world and hang out with your friends. And I had been so closeted before that.
Sure.
Like I would just kind of be withdrawn and want to do my own thing and not have to think about this and whatnot.
Yeah, same.
The other thing too that I know surprised me that I don't think gets talked about too much is HRT can also help you to tap into your emotions more.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I found it. Was like this. It's like I was deadened before. And then once I got plugged in more, everything felt more. Because I remember being more prone to crying in the first couple of months. And not in like a bad way, but in terms of like if something sad happened, it would just be that emotional release.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common for a lot of, especially trans women. Yeah, it's wild because it's not like we never experienced emotions pre-transition, but it's like everything got flattened and muted and it was so small and now it's so whole and so much bigger. It's like you said, everything is so much more.
The dial got turned up. If we were at like a 3 or 4 before, somebody just turned it up and we're at like an 8 or a 9 now. And now everything's just coming through more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's why this topic made it onto my mega list of future Trans Tuesdays to write after SDCC in 2023. Due to coming out and transitioning during lockdown of the pandemic, attending that con was the first trip I'd ever taken as my true self while out as a woman. And holy crap, the difference could not have been more stark. Before I get into it, if you want more of the difficulties of a pandemic transition, I've got you covered at TillysTransTuesdays.com. I don't know what it's like to pack for a trip or experience a trip as a guy, but I know what those things were like while badly pretending to be a guy, which is all I can talk about. As I mentioned in the Trans Tuesdays on hair and I think gender dysphoria, for most of my life I had a super short buzz cut. This necessitated no special products, no care, not even a comb or a certain shampoo. I didn't care about my clothes at all. They were simply there to hide my awful body from view. I rarely shaved for dysphoria reasons, even though facial hair also caused dysphoria. It was a real paradox.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, so many of us did. Yeah. So pre-transition, my packing for San Diego Comic-Con would be to toss a handful of geeky t-shirts, underwear, socks, and a couple pairs of cargo shorts into a bag, grab my deodorant, toothbrush, and toothpaste, and that was it. Like literally, that was it. Do you want to know what I had to pack last year? It kept cracking me up because it just never ended. So of course I had to bring clothes, and I picked cute tops and paired them with skirts or shorts that would look nice, and yeah, sure, socks and underwear. And I had to bring bras now, but that's not that much more, right? But I do like to style my glasses to complement my outfits, you may have noticed. So I'd better bring multiple pairs of glasses too, just in case. Oh wait, my hair requires special shampoo and hair product and a blow dryer with a diffuser. Not knowing if our hotel would have the latter, I had to bring that too. And yes, I still have to shave daily, so I had to bring a razor and replacement cartridges and shaving cream. This one actually hit me twice, though, because San Diego Comic-Con last year was right in the middle of when my HRT stopped working, that I talked about in the Transition Setbacks Trans Tuesday, which meant my facial hair was growing so much faster again. Even my super close against the grain shave wasn't lasting all day. I had beard shadow at night, but a lot of San Diego Comic-Con events are parties and hangouts after the con late at night. So I had to do a touch-up shave every night just to keep my face clear, and it hurt a lot. I had to bring makeup because I like it, but also because you're well aware of the expectations leveled on women and the way people may judge you, even subconsciously, if you're not wearing it. But also, if I'm wearing it, I'm much more likely to get gendered correctly, especially when I was struggling to keep my face stubble-free, so it was non-negotiable. But I'm very far-sighted. My styling glasses ain't just for show. And I cannot see my own eyes in a mirror without glasses well enough to put eye makeup on, and obviously I can't put eye makeup on while my glasses are on. I have to use a magnifying mirror, so now I had to bring that too. And I have lotion for my arms, and 2 different moisturizers for my face, and 2 different moisturizers for my eyes, and special gentle face soap, all of which I had to bring too. I also had to bring all of my hormones along, and this year that will be even more complicated because I'm on injections now, so I've got to bring vials and needles and all that junk too. And it just struck me what an entirely different experience it was to go from do as little as possible because I don't give a shit about myself to I have to do so much to take care of myself because I care a lot about myself. And sure, some of that is going from perceived man to perceived woman in this very sexist society, but a lot of it was also that I just care so much more about myself now than I ever thought possible. Kristine, do you remember what your first trip after transitioning was like? And did you also really do the I don't have to pack anything at all thing pre-transition?
Oh, I definitely did the I don't have to pack anything at all thing pre-transition. Yeah. 100%. For me, I would say I'm finding as I'm going along, I'm gathering more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I first transitioned in my 20s, was first out. Probably my first big trip was Origins. I think I did it in like 2011. And at the time, I still wasn't good at the makeup thing.
Oh, yeah.
So not that I'm good at it now, because I'm still have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So I didn't have too many of those things to pack, but I did have the bras. I did have now the combs and all the shaving supplies and the pills. And all of those things definitely still added up, even if for me, and I'm sure I'll talk about this somewhere in here, I was still packing the geeky t-shirts more so than the cute tops and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I just stick with the same pair of glasses. But yeah, it still was more than I was used to. I couldn't get away with just having a backpack anymore.
Right? It was so easy before. I do miss the ease of that. It was no big deal. Just toss whatever in a little bag and off you go.
Well, that's like one of the dreams of like finishing electrolysis.
Oh, sure.
My wife and I talk about that is the idea of just being able to roll out of bed and just, you know what? We need to go get a gallon of milk. It's not a big deal. Let's just go do that.
Oh, yeah. I wish.
No prep. No prep required.
Yeah.
She cut her hair short last year too, so she's getting closer to that.
Yeah, you're right. I can't go get the mail if I don't shave my face first, right? Because who knows who's going to see it or how they'll react, and it's tough.
Well, here's something that's interesting. I don't know if you did any of this. Well, I guess you were transitioning during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, that's when I started.
So that was actually a huge boon for me in a way. In this, not the pandemic itself. Sorry, excuse me. Pandemic bad, but the fact that everybody was wearing masks.
Yeah.
That meant if I had like a day I was trying to give my face like a rest from like the shaving just so it could heal up, I could throw on a mask and go pick up groceries or lunch or whatever and do small outings and not have to worry about all that.
Yeah, it's hard for me still. I still mask when I go to pick up groceries or whatever, but I also get a lot of facial hair growth on my neck, which a mask doesn't cover, and so I've got stubble there every morning as well. So the mask doesn't hide enough for me, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah. Someday I'll get it all zapped off. Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another weird thing happened at San Diego Comic-Con last year, which was that I got recognized a lot. At 5:57 p.m. on July 19th, 2023, I posted, "Sitting outside waiting for dinner at the Hard Rock and already got recognized. We just got here. My magnificent mane cannot be denied." And then at 4:01 p.m. on July 20th, 2023, I posted heading to the convention center for SDCC interview and got stopped on my way by someone who recognized me with a, "Are you Tilly? You're awesome. What is happening?" And sure, you can say maybe that's because of my book and TV and comics writing, I guess, but the only reason people recognize me is because of all the selfies I post, which means it's directly due to my transition because I almost never took selfies before, much less posted them. Yay, dysphoria. See the Trans Tuesday on Photos and Reflections and Photos 2, the Selfie Apocalypse at TillysTransTuesdays.com for more on that. But then there was also a guy who thought I was doing a cosplay, which I guess I technically was, maybe. On July 22nd, 2023, I posted, "Just had an only at Comic-Con experience far stranger than fiction, but I don't have the time to write it up at the moment. For now, I'll leave you with this only at Comic-Con experience that Susan here witnessed. Guy stops me on the street. 'Who are you dressed as?' Me. 'Myself.' It was really weird." You can see a photo of what I was wearing that day when it happened in the Google Doc version of this topic. It's not costumey. I don't get it. But a bunch of people asked me about that other only at Comic-Con experience I mentioned, and you are in luck because it's finally time to tell that story. There is so much going on at San Diego Comic-Con, so much that you will literally never see it all, much less even be aware of it all. It's just not possible. The size and scope of this 5-day con will blow your mind if you've never been. Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, Kristine?
I have. In
was it madness for you?
2013? Oh, it was.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
I will remember for the rest of my life. I did a Hall H day.
Oh, wow.
And
Did
I remember
you wait in line overnight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I've never done that.
So I was writing for Fan-Based Press at the time.
Yeah.
I remember being in line at like 1 or 2 in the morning and then was there all the way until the next day at like 5 in the afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
Coming out of Hall H, and it was just a sea of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. There's because like 100,000 people attend, and it's wild. Yeah. For folks who listening who may not know, Hall H is like the big hall at the convention where they hold like the mega panels with like movie stars, and they do movie trailer premieres and all kinds of stuff in there. And people will camp out literally overnight with tents and everything waiting to get in there. It is bonkers.
It really, really is.
It's an experience. If you are a nerd or you enjoy comics or pop culture, I think everyone should go at least once just to experience it because it is wild.
I second that. It's worth at least the one trip. Just be prepared to deal with crowds. That's the only thing.
So many crowds.
If that's less your thing, I recommend trying to go, what is it, Wednesday night if they still do that?
The preview night, yeah. They still do that on Wednesday night.
Because things are calmer then. Friday, Saturday, you got to be ready to be just a part of the ocean.
Yeah, even Thursday's like that now. It's huge. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So on the Saturday of 2023's SDCC, my lovely wife Susan and I here were resting in the hotel room before grabbing dinner and then heading to a panel that I was on in the evening. So we're checking social media, where you often find out more about what's going on at the con than when you're at the con. It's wild. And we find out there's some kind of, quote, Paramount experience down in the Gaslamp Quarter, which is this area across from the convention center that extends a few blocks. It's filled with restaurants and shops, and a bunch of them get taken over during the con for more convention stuff. The con also spreads to nearby hotels and even the San Diego Library. Apparently, people are saying they've got an SDCC exclusive pin at this Paramount experience, and it's from the Ad Astra per Aspera episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. SDCC is filled with exclusive stuff like this, and it's always a huge hassle and headache and nightmare to even attempt to get them because they are small in number and a large amount of the 100,000 attendees want them. And that episode is my favorite in all 800 plus hours of Star Trek, all of which I've seen many multiple times. And it's so transy and amazing. The episode had just premiered about a month before the con last year, and you can see the effect it had on me when at 7:03 p.m. on June 22nd, 2023, I posted, "Hello, Star Trek said trans rights with its whole damned chest. Thank you, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Thank you, Dana Horgan," the account of the show's writer, that episode's writer, I should say. "It means the world. One day may I fly among you, together in the stars, all my love always. Ad Astra per Aspera, live long and prosper emoji, trans flag emoji, purple heart emoji.
I need to see this episode. I have not seen Strange New World season 2. I saw the first one.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up now. I need to remedy this.
It's gonna blow your mind. It's so amazing. It's so good. I feel like people are gonna say you're overhyping it. I'm like, I cannot overhype this episode. It's impossible. It melted my brain. It's so good. But truthfully, part of what took me so long to get to writing this Trans Tuesday was that I fully intend to do an entire Trans Tuesday or two on that episode ad astra per aspera, and I just haven't had time yet. And now the SDCC 2024 is here, and welp, onward we go. But I will be writing about that episode eventually, so keep an eye out. But the chance to get something commemorating my favorite episode, something that is so important to me, was too good to pass up. But already despair set in because we just found out about it, and the Paramount Experience thing apparently closed at 5 p.m., and people were saying the line was interminably long. But I had nothing else to do until we were going to eat, so I decided to give it a shot. And a little after 2 p.m., I went out and found the line in the Gaslamp Quarter, and my journey began. As I went, an absolutely bananas story unfolded, and I was texting with Susan the entire time. I've saved screenshots, so I have the entire thing for the historical record. Come along for the ride. And if you want to see the madness of the Gaslamp Quarter behind me early in line, you can find a photo of it in the Google Doc version. Okay, on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023 at 2:22 p.m., our text string begins. Note that between bits of these, often a lot of time passed. You're going to read your parts with me, okay, Susan?
I am?
Yes, I'm not going to read your parts when we were texting.
All right.
Probably should have prepared you for that.
Yeah, you probably should have said something.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you're real nice.
Hey. Me. I don't need to say me. I can just read my parts. Okay, here we go. There's this 11/12-year-old in front of me playing Tetris on her phone, and she's just singing randomly nonstop.
I hope you get a pin.
Well, the line hasn't moved in 10 minutes.
Blurred.
I think it's like the Picard Museum was, where you go in and just stay as long as you want, and they don't let people in until some leave.
Oh, I see.
No idea what else is in there. A Shax's just walked by, and it was like someone took his tune and made him human. A+.
Yay.
Shax is a character from Star Trek Lower Decks, by the way. Okay. At this rate, I'm not sure if I will even be in there before we need to eat.
Well, okay, if that happens, I will come meet you.
I guess. But I'll have to give up.
Jody Hauser just posted that someone who definitely has COVID is at the con today in full Ahsoka cosplay, so that's fun. You don't have to give up yet.
No, but if you have to come meet me, I will. Also, why do people have to be the effing worst?
I know, but hopefully that won't happen. You have some time.
I didn't know why my phone auto-capitalizes effing today, but I'm not mad about it. The line moved more in the past 2 minutes than the past hour. Very weird. Now the line hasn't moved in 20 minutes. This is aggravating. Oh,
What do I...
That was an emoji.
I did an old school
text with the slanty mouth emoji. Yeah, okay. If the pins are gone, I'm going to be upset.
I know. But at this rate, it seems unlikely they could run out with so few people actually making it through the door?
I have no idea. They might not even have that many. The Picard pins were in short supply that year.
Yeah, we can check eBay later if you don't get one.
I don't want to spend $100 for it either, though.
Blurg.
There is apparently also a separate line for people with reservations, which explains why this is so sporadic and weird.
That is weird.
25 minutes with no movement now.
I will leave here around 4:30 p.m. if things do not go well.
Well, they are already not going well. Love to waste all my time. I mean, not that I was doing anything anyway, but...
Not a waste. It's a chance for greatness in the form of a pin.
You know, I was going to have a Diet Coke at 4. I had big plans.
I can bring you one. I can bring it to you now.
Well, I don't want to drink it in line. Way too many people. I'm not taking my mask off. So just wait.
Okay.
The line for people with reservations has doubled. They must be for 4 p.m. maybe? Lol, I am never getting in.
Let me see. Well, there's a bar in there, and they kick people out after 50 minutes. That's all I could find out.
Swell. I just want one pin and then I will leave. Come on.
How close are you?
Kinda, but again, the reservation line is really big. There's maybe 30 people in front of me on standby. Can't really see where it ends. And I've been here for an hour and 40 minutes, and honestly, I see no way I'm going to be in there by 4:30.
Boo.
They just let in a whole mess of people from the reservation line, but nobody from here, so...
F-bomb? Like I wrote out F-bomb?
No, you wrote the word, but we keep this show PG-13.
Okay. It's like, that doesn't sound like me. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. on the dot.
And they just let in another ton of people with reservations. Ha! Fun. Oh, you did another one.
I did another one.
I don't even know how to describe that.
I know.
It was another like...
Melty face?
Sort of a melty face, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so fun.
Melting smiley face emoji.
Standing in a huge unmasked crowd for 2 hours.
Melting smiley face emoji. If you want to drop out, that's okay too, if you feel unsafe.
I have been next to the same table of bros eating wings for like 45 minutes, and I am very tired of them.
Lol.
Anyway, I might as well wait the 25 more minutes. I waited this long.
Okay.
Hopefully I won't need to pee until we're done eating.
When I come over, would you like me to bring a Diet Coke?
Yeah, please. I would just need to pace myself with the Diet Coke.
Right.
Oh my God, the line is moving. It goes up further than I thought. There were probably 50 plus people in front of me. I can see inside though. There's SpongeBob stuff all over? Sure.
Yeah, there is also SpongeBob and other things in there, and ugh.
If I go inside, I consent to filming.
Put your sunglasses on and then no one will know who you are.
Why would they pass up the chance to get footage of randos walking around buying pins and drinking? Gold.
Lol.
Okay, then there's a bunch of ellipses, and then I said, so they send people from standby to the reservation line. Lol, 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 they stopped the line at me.
What? Babe, this is an injustice.
No, it was a miscount. They had room for 3 more.
Yay!
So now I am in the reservation line. They are putting armbands on us. I have food and drink vouchers?
The forecast for San Diego says 70% chance of rain in the next 6 minutes. Do you have to pay to go into this thing?
There are purple cult members from Yellow Jackets. I can wait in line for Yellow Jackets playing cards. No, it's free. Before I wait for cards, I'm going to find the pins.
Oh, okay. Oh, I saw those playing cards. I would be too superstitious to have that weird symbol in my home, though. You can sleep with the cursed stick people things.
If you haven't seen Yellow Jackets, okay, anyway, it's from the show. Well, I am not in line for those. I am in line for some Lower Decks thing. I figure that must be it, but they are doing Lower Decks caricatures of people in there. I see nothing else Trek-related in here.
I saw the caricatures thing online. Just ask someone about the pits. But it could be the same line, yeah?
No one will hear me. There's super loud music and a million people talking. Lol, some guy working here just said this far back in the Lower Deck slide I won't make it in time because they close at 4:59. This is all hilarious.
Crap, I'm trying to find out about the pins.
4:50, I meant. Ah! The same guy came back because I was still standing there, and he asked if I was going to try to wait still. And I yelled as loud as I could, I was just looking for a pin. And he said, I got you. And he took me to a corner, and he sneakily pulled one out of a fanny pack and gave it to me while looking around to be sure no one was watching. What is happening? Ah! I could cry.
I am getting ready to come to you.
What a story.
I'm so happy for you.
They're tattooing people in here. WTF. There are bathrooms. I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm heading out. Oh, that was your line. Whatever. And my friends, you can see the pin in all its glory in the Google Doc version of this.
Although I do remember you put the food and drink tickets in the bathroom stall for the next person.
I did, because I wasn't going to stay to get those because we had to leave. So if you don't know what this pin means to me, from my favorite episode, from the transiest episode, from the franchise I love the most with my entire heart, Susan and I met writing Star Trek fanfic. We were sensitivity consultants on Star Trek Prodigy. And when we renewed our wedding vows with the real me, it was entirely Trek themed. You can see that in the Trans Tuesday on a trans re-wedding in episode 72 of this podcast.
Sidebar, my
Yes.
wife and I also had a Star Trek themed wedding.
Amazing. What did you do for it?
So we had a Federation flag up in the background.
Oh,
we had
I love
bought
it.
a bunch of tribbles.
Uh-huh.
Sadly, we got married in 2020, so midst of the pandemic, so we didn't get to do everything. But our friend Ren actually did a Star Trek like overlay when we got to stream our wedding, since it was just us and our officiant.
Yeah,
and so
that's
it was like, it was
cool.
really cute. We had like a red alert when it was time to like kiss the bride and that kind of thing.
I love it.
And then Oh, we each wore our comm badges because Nicole is she's perpetual captain, so she had like the command badge, and I had the science officer badge. We wore on our respective dresses.
Oh, we should have put badges on our dresses. That would have been good. That's great. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Well, none of that experience would have happened if I hadn't been me on that trip. I'd have probably not bothered to wait in line, even though I still loved Trek in my pre-transition days. I'd have never actually talked to someone about it inside because I could not stand to talk to or be perceived by strangers, and I'd have regretted it for my entire life. And I think maybe that's what all this is getting to. The biggest unexpected change of all. Life pre-transition was nothing but a mountain of pain and awfulness and regrets. I never imagined a life with mental clarity and an actual sense of self and identity was possible, and I never ever imagined a life without regrets was possible. And look where I am now. Thanks for being here, Kristine.
Thank you for having me.
Through difficulties, to the stars. Ad astra per aspera. Who knows what changes await you out there? Go find them. You won't regret it. Tilly Bridges. End transmission. Tilly's Trans Tuesdays is hosted by Tilly Bridges and Susan Bridges with audio editing and sound mixing by Jillian Morgan. The Google Doc and social media versions of this week's topic and all past topics are available at tillystranstuesdays.com. Special thanks to Daisy and Jane for the use of Sorry Not Sorry as our show's theme music. Please stop by and show your support at daisyandjane.bandcamp.com and soundcloud.com/daisyandjane. You can find me at Tilly Bridges on Bluesky, Twitter, and Hive, on Mastodon at tillybridges at mastodon.social, at facebook.com/TillySBridges, and on Insta and Threads at HeckYeahTillyBridges. And you can find Susan on most of those at Susan L. Bridges. You can find Jillian at Audio Jillian on Bluesky. You can join the Tillyverse Discord server by following the link at the very bottom of tillystranstuesdays.com. We hold regular watch parties for the Matrix films and other trans movies where I do a live Q&A, and it's blossomed into a wonderfully supportive, compassionate, kind community of friends. We'd love to have you join us. For more information, visit pendantaudio.com. Thanks for listening.